So today we are going to discuss the third chapter. So it is chapter number 3. Right, so it is squares, square roots, cubes, and cube roots, right? So let's start our discussion with squares. So what do you understand by the word square? Anything which comes to your mind when we talk about squares?
Like double the same number.
Double is not the right word, but yes, you are close.
Like multiply this is like if two, like the
Mm-hmm.
question is the square of two, so we have to multiply two with two.
Very good. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. So basically, power of 2, right? For example, if a is a number, square of a would be a to the 2. So the power of a is 2, right? So this is what square of a is, right? Yes, Saneem?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. And we need to understand another thing, that when we have a, we multiply it with a. The power is 1, the power is 1, right? Now this is the base. When bases are same, powers are added. So we get a square. This is why for a square, we are doing a into a, right? So you guys must be familiar with this concept. Are you guys okay with it?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then if we have, for example, if we have 5 square, for that we do 5 into 5 and we get 25, right? For example, if we have 9 square, for that we do 9 into 9 equals 81. Okay, right. So I'll share a table after this discussion in which we will have first 10 squares, right? That are important. You need to learn those. So I'll share that. But before that, let's talk about square roots now. I'll just rub this and we'll talk about square roots here on the same page. Okay. And what do you understand by the term square root? Anything which comes to your mind? Any idea, any guess? This type of a thing, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
When we say
Yes.
square root? Okay. And what
Yes.
exactly is square root? Square root is basically 1 by 2. By 1 by 2, I mean the power is 1 by 2. For example, if you have under root a, right? Under root a. The very first thing is that for square root, you can either write this or you can write with a 2 here. Okay, that is okay. Because we have cube roots as well. So be very clear. In cube roots, we write 3. But if you don't have any number here, it means it is a square root. So, and if you write 2, that is okay. And they are equal, okay? So this is equal to this, right? Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
And this basically is a to the 1 by 2, right? Whenever you have under root, think of it as 1 by 2 in the power. Okay? Now I'll tell you. Let's say we have under root 25. Under root 25 can be written as under root 25 is 5 square. 25 is 5 square. And this can be written as 5 square. And instead of writing under root, I'll use this concept. I'll write 1 by 2. Okay. So this 2 and this 2, they'll be cancelled. I'll write it in a way just so you guys can understand that it is one is in numerator and the other one is in denominator, right? But both are powers. Okay, I'll write it again. So we have 5 and we have 5 square, okay? And because of this under root, I will write 1 by 2 in power. Now this 2 and this 2 is cancelled and I get 5, okay? This is why under root 25 is 5, okay? Because the powers are cancelled, right? Are we clear in this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
and is this understood? Anything which you would
Yes.
like to ask? Anything? No questions?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Now if I talk about cubes and cube roots, right? So everything is same, but the number is different. When we talk about cubes, power of 3 comes to our mind, right? Power of 3. And cube of A is A cube. 5 cube is 5 into 5 into 5. That is 125, right? Similarly, when we talk about cube root, this is the symbol. And what we do is, if we have, let's say, 125, we know that 125 can be written as 5 cube. And this basically is 5 cube into 1 by 3. Power can be cancelled, so we will get 1, okay? So this time the power is 1 by 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No questions? Is
Yes.
everything clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then let's talk about some questions. I'll stop sharing this and I'll share a worksheet. Okay. Okay, so I've shared the worksheet. Just let me know once you're able to see the screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have a list of perfect squares and square roots, right? Okay. So we have first
Yes.
15. We have first 15 perfect squares, square roots, and squares, right? So you guys only need to learn the first 10. So I'll just cross this out. And you have to learn these, okay? They are very important. Okay. Right. So let's start from here, okay? We know 1 to 10 counting. We can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10. We need to square every number and we'll get 1, 4, 9, 16, and so on, right? What do we have here? Here we are basically finding out the square root of these numbers 1, 4, 9, 16, right? The square root of perfect squares, okay? And these are the first 10 perfect squares. And how do we get perfect squares? By simply squaring simple numbers till 10, right? 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and so on, right? So any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, just like this list, this is another list which I'll share with you. So you have to learn these. Okay. Here we have again cube roots till 10. 1 cube is 1, then 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, and all that. And here we have perfect cubes. Okay. This is basically 10. I'll write down these as well. This is 8. Okay. But any questions? You guys have to learn the list. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Now let's talk about these then. Okay. Right. So I'll zoom in a bit. Okay. So the very first question is, which is the smallest 3-digit perfect cube? Now in MCQs, you would not be having your calculator. You cannot think of it this way. So this is why I'm telling you that you need to learn the list, right? Now, what is the question? Which is the smallest? Obviously, you can start doing it on your own, but that would take time, okay? So the question is, which is the smallest 3-digit perfect square cube? 3-digit, okay? And perfect cube. Let's go back to a list. This is
125,
the
ma'am.
list. Yes, very good. Okay, this is 125.
550.
This is because this is the first 3-digit perfect cube. Sareem, are you clear with this?
Ji.
Okay, so the answer is 125. Okay, let's talk about the second question. Which is the greatest 3-digit perfect cube? Greatest. Okay, now 1000 is 4-digit.
729.
Yes, 729. Very good. 729. Okay. Then we have the third question, which is, which of the following is not a perfect cube?
8.
8.
8. Are you sure?
No, ma'am. 8 is a cube of 2.
Yes.
So 9.
Okay. This is 2 cube, right? So 9, because 9 is 3 square, okay? Are you clear, Sunny?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now we have the cube of 4 is, now 4 cube is basically 4 into 4 into 4. So it is
64.
16 into,
64.
yes, very good. 16 into 4, right? Now all these options are less than 16. Obviously, you don't have to waste time in doing that. Yes, and if you have been practicing questions, you must be familiar with, such multiplications that 16 into 4 is 64, right? And yes, since you'll be learning the cubes and squares, so you should know that, right? Okay. Then we have the fifth question. The value of 5 cube is, again, we have to refer to our sheet, and we know that it is 125, right?
125.
125.
Yes. Okay. Now, let's talk about this question. The cube of an even number is always. Okay.
Even
Why?
is, ma'am, even number. पता नहीं, ma'am, reason नहीं
We
पता.
have 2. Let's say we have an even number. Let's say it is 2. So we do 2 into 2 into 2, right? Now we have 3 numbers. Like we have a number which is being multiplied 3 times. This is what cube is. And since it is an even number, we know that whenever we are multiplying something with an even number, we get an even number, right? So the answer would be B. Okay. For example, if we have 3 into 2, we get 6. If we have 3 into 4, we get 12, okay? If we have 2 into 2, we get 4. So whenever we are multiplying an even number, either with an odd number or an even number, we get even number, right? So cube of an even number is always even number. Okay. And then we have the cube of an odd number is always?
Odd.
Yes,
Like,
very good.
as the reason with the even numbers was that if you multiply a number with an even number, so it will be one. So if we multiply a number with an odd number, so it will be odd.
Yes, very good. So are you clear, Saneem?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have each prime factor appears, excuse me, just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second. I'll be back in a minute, okay? Okay, yes, I'm sorry. So, what is the question? Each prime factor appears dash times in its cube. Yes. So, what is the answer?
3 times.
Yes. Now, this basically needs to be discussed. Okay, let's talk about it. So we have, let's think of a number. Let's say we have 64. Okay, we know that 64 is a perfect cube, right? We have just discussed that in a question. So let's talk about 64 and let's talk about the prime factorization of 64. Okay, so what do we get? What is the first prime factor, the smallest prime factor for 64?
2.
2.
It is 2. Okay, with that is going to give us 32. Then again it would be 2.
2
So we are going to get 16.
to
Again,
16.
it's 2. We
2,
get 8.
8, 2, 4.
2, 2, and 2. Right? And then we get 1 and 1. So we have, how many 2's are we getting? 1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we have 64 equals 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, right? So the only prime factor in the prime factorization of 64 is 2. And we can write it as 2 cube into 2 cube, right? Can we write this as 2 cube into 2 cube?
Yes.
So it
Yes.
means that whatever number you're going to take, if it is a perfect square, this is the condition. If it is a perfect square, the prime factors, or in the prime factorization, every factor would have cube, right, on it. Is this okay? So this is the answer, right?
Yes.
Have
Excuse
you?
ma'am.
Yes, yes, Amir.
मुझे मैम still नहीं समझ आई. Like, the
Hmm.
question is each prime factor appears 3 times in its cube.
Yes, 3 times. Yes, this basically means that when we write prime factorization of any number, for example, 64, we got this, okay? And we have discussed some examples
Oh.
previously in which we were getting, this form, let's say 2 square into 3 cube and stuff like that, okay? This statement
ठीक है मैम,
basically
समझ आ
means,
गई.
right, okay, this statement basically
Like
means
इस
that
तरह
if,
होगा कि
yes,
अगर अगर 5 भी होगा ना, तो पहले 3 ही 2 है, उसके बाद अगर 5 होगा तो 5 भी 3 टाइम्स होगा.
exactly, excellent, yes, very good, very well done, बिल्कुल ठीक है.
ठीक है.
So is
Thank
it okay?
you. Yes ma'am.
Okay, let's talk about this last question then. Okay, now this is important. but ऐसे नजर नहीं आ रहा. Let me zoom out then. Okay. The question is, by which smallest natural number 392 must be multiplied so as to make the product a perfect cube? Okay. Right. Now let's think about it. Okay. Forget about the answer. Forget about the answer. Let's think about the question. By which smallest natural number 392 must be multiplied so as to make the product a perfect cube. Okay, they want us to multiply a number with 392 such that the product, the answer which we get after multiplying one of these options with 392 becomes a perfect cube, right? Okay, now for this question and for such types of questions, what we do is we need to again find the prime factors of 392. Why? You will get to know that. Okay, but just help me in finding out the prime factors. So the smallest prime factor is 2 and we will get 196,
18.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then we have 2 and we get
98.
98. Again we have 2 and what do we get?
49.
9. Yes. Then it's 7, right? 7 is the smallest prime factor.
Yes, 7 sevens are 49.
Yes, very good. And we have 1 and 1. Okay. So what are we getting? 392 is basically 2 into 2 into 2.
Excuse me.
Yes.
इसमें लाइक हम वही वाली कंडीशन यूज करेंगे कि वो परफेक्ट क्यूब में ये कंडीशन होती है कि एक 3 times वो 3 times रिपीट होता है ना.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. वेरी गुड, एक्सीलेंट. ठीक है, तो here we have 2 cube, but here we have 7 square.
7.
So we need to multiply 392 with
7.
Yes, okay. When we multiply 392 with 7, ये जो भी number बनेगा, forget about that. We know that कि जो prime factors होंगे वो 3 times आ रहे हैं. ठीक है? This becomes cube. So 7 is the answer, right? So have you understood this question completely?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything which you would like to ask from this chapter which we have studied so far?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So I'll share this list, right? You need to learn these. These should be on your fingertips, right? कि मैं एकदम से पूछूंगी 7 cube क्या है, तो you should know it is 343. Okay? मैं डराने नहीं, मैं बस बता रही हूँ कि this is important, right?
Yes.
And this is part of your syllabus as well. Also, Saneem, जिस तरह यहाँ पे we had a question जो मैंने cross out कर दिए. It's here, right here. Okay. Similarly, वो जो worksheet दूसरी थी, basically syllabus changes, right? कभी कुछ चीजें syllabus का part होती है, कभी कुछ चीजें syllabus का part नहीं होती. तो since we practice previous questions, तो इस वजह से sometimes ये होता है कि कुछ questions जो apparently we think we have not seen in past papers actually होते हैं part, right? So this was not part of the syllabus, तो मैंने ये इसलिए example number 9 नहीं करवाई, okay? Because this isn't in our syllabus, right?
Okay, ma'am.